Industries striving to serve you better.
Here is an announcement. This is to inform all Zambian Open University ZAU students, full-time, part-time and distance learning that the examinations for the second semester of 2018 academic year will take place from Monday 10th December to Friday 21st December 2018 at the following venues. In Lusaka, the venues are Villa Campus, Kutwa Road, Villa Elizabetha for Development Studies students, Garden House Hotel, Mumbo Road, Lusaka West, first to third year students in Fine Arts, Lusaka Museum next to the new government complex, Independence Avenue, fourth year Fine Arts students. New ZAU Campus, former Charles Building next to Comesa Building, Ben Bella Road, students in all other programs. At regional centers, Chipata Day Secondary School, Kabwe,
Broadway School,
Kasama, Lukasha Trades Training Institute, Kitwe Boys Secondary School, Livingston Institute of Business and Engineering Studies, LIBES, Mansa, High Top, Mongu, Kambule High School, Solwezi, Chico Inn. Please note that only fully paid up students with signed examination registration forms will be allowed to sit for the examinations. For any inquiries, contact the following: Mr. Joshua Shatu on +260 977 501 96 or Mr. Bedson Katiamba on +260 962 215 561. Zambian Open University. University without wars.
The great taste of Blue Band is now packed with 6 vitamins and omega-3 and 6 for growing kids, making it more nutritious, delicious, and easier to spread. You can tell they're from a Blue Band home. Give your kids the taste they love and the good start they need.
The Zambia Institute of Mass Communication Education Trust, a prestigious leader in high-quality journalism and public relations training, is still enrolling and receiving applications for January 2019 intake in the following courses: Diploma in Creative Digital Media, Diploma in Journalism and Public Relations, Certificate in Journalism and Public Relations, Certificate in Public Relations, Advertising and Article Writing. We also offer ongoing short courses in the following: Video Production, Radio Production, Report Writing and Minute Writing, Speech Writing and Public Speaking, Customer Relations, Web Design and various computer courses, and many more. For more details, contact the academic office on 0211 251 811 or 0978 239 617. You can email us at academics.inquiries@zamcom.ac.zm. Zamcom, media training, media production, immediate results.
Good to know that you're still with us and welcome back. And now we continue with our news. About 10 families living in an old abandoned lime crushing facility in Lusaka's Chawama area are to be relocated. Lusaka City Town Clerk Alex Mwansa described the structure in which the families are living in as a disaster awaiting total collapse. He adds that it is time the council brought the structures down before a disaster ensues and cause catastrophe. Details in this report.
This is Margaret Siamwitwa, a mother to one of the 10 families living in the dilapidated old and abandoned lime crushing facility in Lusaka's Chawama compound. After having a chat with her, Margaret, a widow, stated that she understands the danger of staying in such a structure, adding that she does not mind being relocated as the structure is clearly not conducive to live in. Town Clerk Alex Mwansa says the council is already working on a demolishing plan and a new location to relocate the vulnerable families that use the abandoned facility for shelter.
You will just have to, it's a disaster in waiting, so you just have to bring it down.
but we'll find alternative accommodation for the vulnerable families who are living in here. So lime crushed stone, which was used for lime, production of lime. So it was abandoned by the contractor, or the owner of the one who was processing lime then. So, but as you can see, it's a disaster in waiting. So we just need to do is to bring it down, and also ensure that the families are resettled elsewhere. We'll hit the ground running starting today. We'll put a plan in place.
This structure surely is a disaster in the making, and relocating of the vulnerable families must be done as soon as possible before it turns into a worse sorry sight. For Prime TV News, I'm Gloria Mumba in Lusaka.
Cleanliness in markets remains a struggle as irresponsible littering remains an order of the day, leading to waterborne diseases outbreaks. But a densely populated community of Kitwe in Chimwemwe Township has demonstrated good hygiene at the market. Prime TV News has had an up-close with some traders that actively took part in safeguarding the trading place that has survived closures. Details in this report.
In Zambia, most markets are known for unsanitary surroundings due to indiscriminate waste disposal, hence potential outbreaks of waterborne diseases such as cholera. The problem is usually because of a poor mindset on waste disposal. However, the relaunch of the Keep Zambia Clean campaign by government has had a lasting effect here at Chimwemwe Main Market in Kitwe. This reporter took an hour to observe the surroundings, and it is evident that traders appreciate the significance of a healthy environment.
Obusaka bulafwaika opotwikele pakutila twachimfya amalwele ayapalanga cholera na typhoid, especially ukobati inoshita iyamfula ayamalwele elo yesa sana.
Our market ifutula chita maintain rafine every Friday kulaba kuwamya, more especially ba committee na bena balingira mosana bala ilimba mosana mukuba tu market ile moneka obusaka. As you can see, market yesu yaba fe clean nango yine kwali makolela ifuna market tabaisele.
Despite their sustained effort, the setback is from waste management by the local authority to collect garbage on time, especially that this trading post lacks a skip bin. Area civic leader Sebastian Munkonge discloses that plans are underway to further improve hygiene.
Secured the second-hand skip bin, which we are going to place where we are going to put a concrete pad and put it on top of the concrete pad so that we place it here so that the marketeers will be dumping their waste in the same skip bin, so that time after time council trucks will be coming to collect the same skip bin and empty it and then bring it back so that people can continue dumping their waste in the same skip bin. No, Chimwemwe are not going to expect any. I doubt if we are going to experience any outbreak of cholera in Chimwemwe, especially that we have involved everyone, every citizen of this Chimwemwe ward, that each and every community member should be cleaning their workplaces, and they should be making sure that wherever they are, the environment is clean.
Chimwemwe constituency is a popular place on the Copperbelt province, and it has set an example that not only is it known for having the famous Chimwemwe dance, but also has people that value cleanliness. Clive Kalunga, Prime TV News, Kitwe.
Farmers in Lufwanyama district of the Copperbelt have complained of not receiving farming inputs despite them making payment under the Farmer Input Support Program. Their lawmaker, Leonard Fungulwe, has disclosed that he has difficulties explaining the cause of the delay by government to deliver the inputs. He says all he has been told by some of those involved is that money has not been paid to transporters engaged by government to deliver the inputs. Mr. Fungulwe further laments that even the Food Reserve Agency has not paid some of the farmers that delivered maize early this year.
I'd like to appeal to the people of Rufwanyama, more especially the farmers, that this FISIP exercise has been a challenge all along. And I received a call this morning concerning the same, that Farmers have deposited their monies into their accounts. Now transporters who are engaged to transport the same, farming inputs to various stations are not on site, except one out of 8 transporters. Now, I'm told these other transporters, they have a challenge. They are complaining to say the government hasn't given them, the down payment so that they can carry on with the exercise, apart from only 1 out of 8. So, we are in the rainy season, we are in December. Farmers should be now, busy planting. Now we are saying the pro-poor, government. Where is pro-poor here? When it is ignoring the welfare of the farmers. So my appeal to the government through the Minister of Agriculture: can the government pay these transporters so that they can start transporting the farming inputs to the farmers?
The Anti-Voter Apathy Project Executive Director, Richwell Mlwani, says the ruling of President Edgar Lungu's eligibility calls for a serious relook at the newly amended constitution. Mr. Mlwani has, however, urged citizens not to worry about the Constitutional Court ruling, as the power to decide who rules the nation lies in Zambians. He says the country needs a constitution that will stand a test of time, as the current one is contradictory in nature. Mr. Mlwani says much as the court ruling must be respected, the constitution is leading the nation into making decisions that may set a very bad precedence.
That there's a lacuna in our constitution. So therefore, much as we respect the decision of the Constitutional Court, what we are saying is that we need to interrogate our constitution and amend those contentious articles in the constitution. That is why people had to go in a very, very critical debate, because they wanted to see whether really our constitution can stand the test of time. So this is a proof that our constitution cannot stand the test of time. We need to amend it so that we can have a good constitution, a constitution that is reliable, where people will have confidence in it, not a constitution that can be interpreted differently by even the same people that actually understand the law. So as AVAP, we are saying this needs to be done. However, we have also a message to the Zambian people that is very, very important for them to allow democracy flourish in our nation. Yeah. Towards 2021, we know that political parties are going to participate, they are going to build their own candidates. The Zambian people must be able to select or to elect a leader of their own choice. So, those in the opposition and every Zambian, they should not worry about the decision of the Constitutional Court. The Zambian people still have the powers to make a decision in 2021 to vote for their own preferred candidate.
Moving on to news this evening, hundreds of Lusaka-based clergymen and women gathered to a fellowship preaching peace and unity. Chairman of the Central African Media Network, Camnet TV, and senior pastor of the Healing World Ministries says the fellowship has been called to unite the body of Christ. Meanwhile, former Vice President Dr. Neves Mumba, who also attended the fellowship, said now than ever the church must unite. He says a sense of division has been observed among the clergy and that this is not good for the country's peace.
As pastors, we are always feeding So it's time when we withdraw. Jesus always withdrew after ministering. He went to get ministered to with the disciples, and together they would be able to fellowship one another, strengthen one another, see the weaknesses that are there with people, and then they would encourage each other by the grace of God. And the Bible tells us in Psalm 133 that where there is unity, God commends a blessing. So this meeting is about us uniting one another and ironing out anything and everything, and also husbands and wives to learn to work together. There are some pastors who work with deaconesses and leave their wives behind. There are pastors who work with people's wives, elders, and they leave their wives behind. What is the wife supporting if she's not there? And she's seen not to be very important because the pastor doesn't want to empower and explain the vision. What is she going to support if he doesn't explain?
Most of the time, people, they see Pastor Chiluba and his dear wife, and some of these big preachers, small preachers, you would see them alone on the pulpit. But we are married. We should have time for the church to know who is who, which husband, which wife, that kind of thing. It is important.
I'm very delighted to be part of this program. I was part of it from the beginning. I endorsed this idea of the churches coming together, more so church leaders, to start to speak a language that runs across denominations, in the hope that when we are called upon as a church to speak into the life of the nation, there will be uniformity in the message that we give. It's just a pity that the best word of unity, which has great dividends and has got great benefits, is the most difficult word to achieve in practical terms. So we're hoping that this is the beginning of churches or leaders coming from all different churches to come together, because you can never really speak into the unity of the nation as a church if you cannot even meet to have a meal together.
As ministers, and felt that we should have a fellowship meal, and decided that this fellowship meal will be free to ministers in Lusaka and their spouses. And the purpose of having a free meal is also to appreciate the work that the ministers are doing in Lusaka.
Well, this is Prime Television, main news at 19:30 hours. We take a second commercial break. We'll be right back with more in international news and sports news. Stay with us.
They say, who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. What seems to us like bitter trials are often blessings in disguise. What is before us cannot be greater than what's in us. So choose the hard path. Do what's hard. Because once you've put yourself through the test, what you get in the end is excellence. The power is in all of us. The power to go beyond our limits. The power to become bigger than our fears. The power to not just be good, but be great. Kung Fu Energy. Master the power.
The Center for E-Learning and Information Technology Research, in collaboration with the Ministry of General Education, have embarked on a computer studies reading materials and ICT equipment access support program, the Basic Computer Learning Series in primary and secondary education activity, which is supporting and enriching the teaching and learning process of computer studies in the Zambian education curriculum. The program is offering schools opportunities to improve the teaching of computer studies through access to supplementary computer studies materials and ICT equipment supplied at relatively low prices, including a tuition-free accredited national PSE diploma and computer studies course running for 18 months with 1-year teaching practicum in program schools. You can be that school. You can also be that student and enjoy the milestone incentives and lots of benefits.
Call us on 0976 034121 or 0211 237994.
2005 or email us contact@c-eir.org or visit our website www.c-eir.org to get enrolled now.
Success starts now. Deposit and you could win a 3-bedroomed home worth 600,000 kwacha with Atlas Mara Bank. Plus, 30 winners will get to win 10 times their 1,000 kwacha deposit. Just open, reactivate, and deposit 1,000 kwacha in your existing account and you qualify. It could be you. The more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. Win the home of your dream at the exclusive Northgate Gardens. T's and C's apply. With Atlas Mara Bank, let's make success. Are you a talented student thinking of a career in accountancy? Do you desire to develop a successful and internationally recognized qualification? CA Zambia will help you achieve your career aspirations. Make the right choice and shape your career in business and finance. CA Zambia. Not just an accountant, but a chartered accountant. CA Zambia, developing business leaders.
Dubai awaits. Taste the finer things in life. Rise above the ordinary. Travel through time. Play in the sand. Celebrate every day. Fly Emirates to Dubai for a world of good times.
Welcome back, and now in international news. The World Health Organization has reported that road injuries are now the biggest killer of children and young adults worldwide. The organization published figures that also reveal Africa has the worst rate of road traffic deaths in the world. Its report says many African and South American countries still do not have sufficient speed limit laws. But it also highlights that global road death rates relative to the size of the world's population are stabilizing. Car accidents are now the leading global cause of death amongst children and young adults aged 5 to 29 years old. And now in sports news. Administrators in the handball fraternity have been urged to adhere to constitutional tools to avoid misconduct. The Handball Association of Zambia says administrators must follow the correct guidelines of the game. Handball Association of Zambia General Secretary Joseph Changa was speaking during a workshop in partnership Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee and Confederation of Sports. Details in this report.
The Handball Association of Zambia, in partnership with the Norwegian Olympic Committee and Confederation of Sports, on Saturday held a workshop in Lusaka with handball administrators from various handball clubs to discuss adherence to the governance tools in order to avoid constitutional misconduct. Also on the table was discussions to provide guidance on the significance of saying no to gender-based violence within the sport as part of commemorating the 16 days activism against gender-based violence.
When an administrator has got access to one, sex. The second one is power. The third one is money. So when you give a leader money, you see the true colors, isn't it? When you give a leader authority, power, you see the true character.
We have been struggling so much with football and these other sports. So if you start, involving a lot of people living with disabilities in sport and also making the environment enabling, so that each and every person can participate, then I can assure you that sport will go in another direction.
Handball Association of Zambia General Secretary Joseph Changa has urged the sports administrators to adhere to constitutional tools.
The significance of this workshop is that as Handball Association of Zambia, we are trying to do away with constitutional misconduct whereby people who are running clubs, they are not observing the governance tools that they are supposed to abide to for them to smoothly run these clubs.
Prime TV Sports also spoke to some coaches who shared their experience during the workshop.
Today I've benefited a lot on this workshop
We've learned how to handle so many matters, especially on gender-based violence. So many little things that have been ignored, and how much we could actually try to improve this, especially in sports.
This workshop that we've come to attend here, I think it has enriched us with so many areas. It has covered a lot of areas like the ethics and values of sport, and also we've dwelled much on the gender-based violence in this workshop. So it has opened up to our minds as coaches and trainers that in most cases, most of the time, we have neglected, we've overlooked this issue of gender-based violence in sport.
For Prime TV Sports, I'm Humphrey Monza in Lusaka.
Well, that's all we could accommodate on our news bulletin this evening. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. 3 ministers bow for Chieftainess Nkomesha's Macy. Hundreds of Vubwe residents left homeless as a foreigner claims land ownership. Lomezi Council Secretary Clement Mwale caught contravening the law. In international news, accidents declared biggest killer of young people. And in sports news, handball administrators cautioned against misconduct. We would like to remind you that the full version of the program on the reconciliatory meeting between the royal establishment and the government will be aired just after the main news. Keep watching. This has been Lwando, Cheleka. Bye for now.
The Prime TV main news was brought to you by Rusangu University.
Imagine a university with no sound of limitation of your dreams. Imagine an institution that guarantees you to finish your